Look, not everybody loves wholesalers. As a matter of fact, a lot of people hate wholesalers, and I'm going to play this live call I just did about an hour ago for you to listen to. This is another investor, and he does not like wholesalers, and he tells me that he doesn't like them, and he explains why. He was very respectful about it, but he was not open to working with wholesalers. And so whenever I run into this, whether it's with an agent or a seller or an investor or whatever, I just clearly identify the type of value that I can bring to the transaction. And really what that is if they are wanting to sell, they have a price, a number that they need to get, and my job is to go get that number for them. And everything above that number I get to keep, and that is basically me working for free until I bring the buyer. I'm proactively bringing the buyer. I'm not just listing the property on the MLS and waiting for my phone to ring. I'm literally calling people all day long, trying to get a buyer and trying to get that property sold. And that's, in my opinion, what separates a wholesaler from an agent. Probably going to get some pushback from some agents. It's not all agents. I'm not saying agents are bad. I'm just making the point that wholesalers work really hard to actually sell the property. They are continually prospect, and they outbound to bring buyers. They're calling investors and they're looking for people. And so I had to explain this to this guy, and it doesn't really make a difference. He really wasn't loving it anyways. But here's what's interesting. I texted him my information when I got off the phone. Hey, Ken, thanks for your time today. My name's Johnny. This is my company and my contact information. He said, thank you, sir. If you have a buyer interest, bad English, bring it to me and we can go further. So he's not opposed to working with an investor. He just needed to be explained how we could potentially work together. And so he's kind of open. The door's kind of open. He has 2 properties he wants to sell, and I want to bring buyers for both those properties and bump the sale price a little bit so I can get paid and I can make some money. And I explained that to him. And so he's open to it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait 5-7 days, and I'm going to call him and I'm going to say, hey, did you ever get those properties sold? And if the answer is no, what I'm going to ask him for is a risk-free 7 days for both him and me. I'm not going to ask him for 30 days. I'm not going to ask him for 14 days. I'm going to ask him for 7. I'm going to say, in that period of time, what I want to do is I want to create a marketing package, and I want to put this deal out in front of as many investors as I possibly can. I'm willing to work for free. I just need to know your number, and I need you to give me that opportunity to do it. And then we'll see how it goes. May not go anywhere, but I will tell you, I've done several deals where I've told sellers, investors, agents, I'm wholesaling this deal. I'm going to go out and shop it to investors. I need X amount of time in order to do that. I need to be protected. I must have a contract. And so this is a really great way to get deals. And also being super transparent makes the transaction better for everybody. If the seller knows that you're out on their behalf looking for investors, they're going to be open to having conversations. If you got to go back and do a price reduction, you're going to explain to them, dude, I had 15 investors walk your property. They all came back between this number. Like, we have no choice. The market ultimately determines the value of a property. And so when you're being transparent up front, it goes a long way. So I'm rambling a little bit. I'm going to let you jump into this video. Listen, if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section. My name is Johnny Pag. I'm a full-time real estate investor on this channel. I just document my real estate journey, pass along tips and tricks to maybe help you get more deals. I do have a free training for you. It's going to be in the comment section, the first link. You can click that, get free training. It's totally free. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to help you get your first deal. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Whew, that was a lot to say.
Johnny, this is Ken.
Oh, hey, Ken. What's happening, man?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I was calling. It kept going to voicemail, so I was just in the middle of texting you.
Yeah, well, I've got spam blocker on my phone. If it's a unrecognizable number, it goes into voicemail.
Yeah, mine does the same thing. It's kind of funny. I kind of figured that's what was happening. Well, talk to me, brother. What's going on with these properties?
You reached out to me. I didn't reach out to you, so I thought you had information for me.
Actually, I don't have any information for you. All I have is on my end is an inbound call, and then my system kind of does the rest. You know, all the text and all that fun stuff. So I don't have any information for you. I'm not even sure how we connected, to be honest with you. Not a big deal though. I mean, I'm an investor, so I'm looking for properties. So let's just chat about it. You're an
investor, or you're a wholesaler?
I'm both. I do both of those things. So you're
not interested in wholesaling it. I just wanted to find an investor that wanted to renovate the properties, give me a fair amount for them,
sure,
and move on.
Yeah, it makes sense. So you're not open to you and I settling on a price and me bringing an investor at that number?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Because you can't guarantee the price if you're wholesaling it. If you're the end buyer, the price we sign is what me and you agreed to. But
yeah, no, I totally know how it works.
The problem I've had with wholesalers is they want to put their markup on my property.
Yep.
And when the buyer wants to pay less, they want me to come down. So that defeats the purpose of signing the contract. If me and you sign the contract, you don't have a buyer, you're just trying to sell it for that amount. And I'm not disrespecting your profession. I'm just saying you're not guaranteeing the amount. You're not the end buyer. So it's a waste of time to deal with a wholesaler that's trying to find a buyer. I'm only dealing with investors.
Yeah, and I totally get it. The reason I disagree is because what we do on our end is we actively look for those buyers. So
no, sir. I respect what you guys do.
Yeah, thank you.
But you look for buyers at the price you want to sell it for.
Yeah, and usually with these type of properties, I mean, I'm in Southern California, so when we do deals in SoCal, I mean, the bump is pretty significant, right? It's not uncommon for us to, go find a property off market. I mean, we spend money for that, right? So I don't know where, to be honest with you, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't know where maybe you saw one of our ads or something. I mean, we spend money for those things, and we operate as a business. So I have full-time employees that are actively looking for those investors, and we got to pay them, right? So for a property like this one here, the one on Princeton Avenue or the one on 43rd Street, I mean, these are very low value properties. Usually we bump those maybe $2,500, 5,000 max. But what we do in terms of servicing you is we stop all the noise, right? So you're not having to go out and call investors and look for people who are flipping properties in your market or fill out forms or do any of that other stuff. And of course, we want to get paid for that. And I'd argue that we work way harder than maybe a real estate agent who just lists properties on the MLS and waits for buyers to call them. So I totally get your hesitation. I know investors have kind of a lousy, reputation. I totally get that. But my thoughts is if you had a go number, we could always do something where we at least try to get that number for you. We bump it a couple bucks and bring someone to the table. And if we can't, it's kind of no harm, no foul. But at least if nothing else, it's going to give you an idea of what investors are willing to pay in that market. And for us, we're working for free until we bring a buyer.
Yeah, and I fully understand that. The investors are trying to buy my properties for a little more than what I paid for them.
Yep.
And they're going to bump them up 15, 20 grand and sell them to somebody else or choose to renovate them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not interested in that. And, I've dealt with too many of them, and I'm learning the right questions to ask. So
Sure.
I don't want to put you on guard when you call, but having a full assessment of everything that's going on, it's not really working with the wholesalers.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Well, it sucks that you've had those experiences. And if, something ever changes, again, we're willing to work for free to try to bring someone to the table at your asking price. So, I put my money where my mouth is in terms of work and what I'm doing for that work. So,
yes, sir.
I don't want to waste your time, but if something changes and you want me to go out and try to find a buyer for you, that's something that I'd be more than happy to do. I have a full-time dispo team, which means they are actively skip tracing investors' numbers in that area, and their job is to bring me 10 offers for every property. So this is how we could serve you. If it doesn't make sense for you, I totally get it, but please keep my number in the event that something changes.
Okay. And if you can text me the name of your company, I'll save that with it because I talked to so many people, the names overlap.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I'll send you a text, and my name's Johnny. My company's called Good Deed. I'm one of the owners here. There's two of us, and this is my cell number. So I will text you my info, and if we can put together something, that would be awesome. If not, it's all good. I'm just glad we were able to kind of hash it out.
Okay, Johnny. I appreciate your time, sir.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Thanks, Ken.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, sir.